it's Maciel.
And O'Malley.
And we are going to be talking about
Keto.
Hello, Jinx, double Jinx.
Keto lifestyle.
Yes. And we know that O'Malley is a plant-based.
Yes.
She's been
for officially 2 years.
Okay.
2 years.
Okay. And I did keto about 2 years ago, and I'm on and off. So today we have a special guest, and we're so excited.
So excited
for her to be here. I hope you enjoy her company as much as I do.
Yes. Remember to like, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell.
Ding, 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 ding. You know, we add a bell. We always add a bell. Have our special guest, Jacky.
Hi there.
Oh, I thought you were going to dance.
What do you mean I was going to dance?
Party.
Hello.
It's me.
I was told that this was a professional podcast.
It's Be Yourself podcast.
I think I got all of that on camera already. I think I need that shit talking already. Say, buenas. Oye, amane, si sabrosa, deliciosa. Yo tengo la persona. He's recording.
And we're here today because Jacky has her own business. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, yes, I do have my own business. It's called Fatty Affair, and it's a ketogenic meal delivery service. And that business is the one that I started, but then I was able to purchase my commercial kitchen, which now is a passive income property because I rent it out because I only use it a certain amount of days a week. So that in itself is another business.
Nice.
You know, as we continue to grow from that one little area to see how we can go out. But right now the main squeeze is the ketogenic meal delivery service. That runs from there.
And she also does all my cakes.
Yeah, so that's our that's like the trap phone. That's a side business. A lot of people don't know that I do ketogenic meals and that I do like cakes that are absolutely not keto, delicious, leche condensada, like the whole works. Like if you eat them every day, you'll become diabetic type things. It's not what we want. Everything in moderation. But yes, I do custom cakes, and I've been doing that for a long time now.
For a long time.
Wow.
And what would you say is your favorite? The cakes or the ketogenic meal?
No,
meals?
they're different. They're different, but they're different and they have similarities. So number one, you're in the kitchen, so you're slaving. No matter what, you're on your feet, you're working hard, like slave labor in the kitchen, on your feet for 15, 16, 18. I used to do like 3-day-hour shifts, like 3 days straight without sleeping for the cakes. The ketogenic right now, that one is a little bit more structured in the sense of like I have work days. The cakes are really just kind of either when the orders come in or it's heavy duty load Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So that's shot. But they're both different types of creativity.
Okay.
So the cakes, you get to be creative, like pretty. And thankfully I have great clients that are like, this is the theme, do whatever you want. And I love it. And then with the cooking, I'm the one that says, tell me what you're allergic to because I'm doing whatever I want. So then, both ways you get to be creative. And they bring really happiness to in both aspects for people in their lives because the ketogenic is keeping them healthy. A lot of my clients I take care of not only people that want to lose weight and like people want to look good or they want to feel better or they want to try keto, but I actually cater to a sick population of people that have diabetes, that have high cholesterol, that were referred by the doctors. So the fact that they're able to lose weight and have a life that they didn't think that they were going to be able to have, and like I said, the weight it comes off, and that's an after effect. All the other good effects that you're going to get from being on a ketogenic lifestyle are the priorities. Like you feel better, you don't wake up, your hands don't hurt, your feet don't hurt, your joints don't hurt, you're not an asshole anymore. So things start to, like the world starts to open up for you, and like you manifest like good things, the things that you want. People are happier. Generally things start to happen for people that never have happened to them. Like it's really like you kind of get rid of all the negativity and you just become, and it's a little bit hippie-ish, but you become better. You're better, so you're better to the world. And everything just gets better. Yes. And so at the end of the day, they're both my favorites. I mean, if everything's a favorite, nothing's a favorite, right? But they're the same with a little
Would
bit of
you say it's your passion? What you're doing right now is something that you're passionate about? I mean, it sounds like you are.
Yeah, I have the luxury of not having to work for anybody, so I only do things that I'm passionate about.
Nice.
No, because we're really big on that. We're really big on that.
Like
we were talking about that the other day, that how to make what you're passionate about something that can make you money.
Make you income.
So you don't want to do obviously anything that's not making you happy. So I'm glad that you're doing something que te gusta.
Yeah, I mean, and I have if you're touching up on that subject, I have kind of a how do you say it? Maybe a different mentality on it. I mean, I think you do what you need to do to pay the bills.
Right.
I think that there's a really big misconception today on that people think like, oh, I only can do what makes me happy. No, you need to do whatever the fuck you need to do. But while you're doing that and you're paying the bills, you can be grinding on the side, which, you know, a lot of people's main hustle was once their side hustle. You can grind hard and there's sleepless nights and it's a lot of work, and to own your business is a ton of work, but you do it and you grind that hard and you're so successful because you're grinding that hard, because you are passionate about it.
I know that O'Malley started her own businesses and all her ideas based off of low times.
Yes, I was going through a breakup, and that was my time to just create. Instead of using that energy to pour it into something negative, like those emotions, I poured that into building a business and creating something that would make me happy at the same time.
Yeah, and that starts to support you. You have to. I mean,
but you're right. You have to do whatever. I mean, not everybody has the luxury of having someone to support you financially, so you do have to do something that's going to pay the bills.
Yes. Yeah. Well, when I started the cakes, actually, it was funny because it was kind of, there was an ex-boyfriend involved in there that left me in a lot of debt. I was maybe like 19 or 20 years old, so I was little, stupid, whatever. And I worked at the county, and I had a very good, decent job for a 20-year-old.
That's a great job.
At 40-something, I think I was making like $45,000 a year. I had a great schedule. I had benefits. I had retirement. I have an FRS now that I have there just sitting for me, waiting for. So I did all that, and I started the cakes there. And actually, it helped me a lot because when I started the cakes, I was in an office setting. So there's tons of people that are going to order the cakes. And, you know, and even now, and recent years back, I would take contract work, and, you know, I would work for 6 months under what is this called? An agency.
Okay.
Because then you meet a whole new clientele. Mm-hmm. And then you start to endulzar la gente or whatever, blah, 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 blah.
Man, bring them a little cupcake, you know?
Cake
pop for the Cake Pop Friday.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, that wasn't a bad thing. Now, I went to school, and I sometimes I say, you know, my mom likes to say, she's like, my daughter has a master's and she makes cakes for a living. I remember she said that a couple times, but it was like kind of like catty. Me and my mom have a wonderful relationship, thank God.
If Mom, you're watching this,
yeah, no, we do. And I remember one day I'm like, well, you know what? Because my easy bake oven makes me more money than my degree will working as like an entry level position anywhere. Like fuck you, Ma. No,
but it's true. It's true.
But it's, you do what you need to do, and sometimes, you know, sometimes you get lucky enough that it blows up enough that you can say, all right, well, I'm out of here, and I'm going to just do this single-handedly. And the bottom line is that you realize that sometimes you might be making more money, sometimes you're not, but then you have the flexibility. Yes. I saw in the last podcast you have a child. Mm-hmm. Okay, so maybe it gives you the flexibility to
spend more time.
To spend more time with them. Doesn't mean you're working less hours. You're probably working a hell of a lot more hours, but you get to work whatever the hell you want to work.
Mm-hmm. I get to bring him on.
Yeah, so
and he helps.
We're teaching you things for the future.
Yes.
We know you're hardcore about that.
Listen,
start making bracelets.
What are you gonna make this? What are you gonna make this week? Oh, bracelets, best friends, BFFs. Eso mismo. Let's go. Yes.
Is it Happy Gilmore Arts and Crafts Hour has been extended by 5 hours today.
Exactly. She knows me very well. But yeah, I'm glad you touched on that, because we're very passionate about that. That's why we like to bring in a guest, and the majority of them have their own business, have whatever their side hustle is that has become their main hustle, and I think it will inspire others that maybe haven't seen the rest of the podcast but are seeing you and like you, girl. Excuse me.
Hey, girl, hey.
She might be working a whole lot of hours, but guess what? It's for herself. She doesn't have to report to anybody. She can say, you know what? I can't do keto meals today. Nope, she can't.
No, I can't do that. I can't do that. No, but it's, you know, it's really nice.
And it's rewarding because you get to see those, at least those, I mean, you saw it with me. I mean, you were my, like, I call her my keto sponsor, because when I went through it, it was rough. Let's talk about the story and a call that you would get from me. I mean, yeah. I was like, I went to her house and I'm like, listen, I'm not eating meat. I'm doing fish. Can I do this on fish? And we're gonna touch on that, like three different, like keto 3 ways. Can we do keto in 3 different ways? Because I think that's important for everyone to see. In case, let's say we have plant-based dieters or pescatarian or meat, because I know that I was doing the pescatarian at that time and it was rough, but you never said you can't do it. So I love that, because if you would have been like, oh, it isn't going to happen for you.
Well, you're not going to do a carnivore keto, only eating fish or only plant-based, but there is different variations of keto that you can do it, of course.
And then I also noticed that within your keto meals that you, at least the ones you've posted in your Instagram, that you're not only solely based on red meat.
No.
And I feel like that's really important too, because obviously red meat, a lot too much of it it doesn't digest the same, right?
It just depends. There's different schools of thought on that, on how it is. A lot of people think that it doesn't digest the same, but those are the same people that are intaking it with gluten high foods, or that are eating it with a baked potato, or other things that are very inflammatory for your gut and your whole digestive system. So it's not a fair thing to say. Because it's like, oh, well, I can blame this, but I'm not doing this, and this right. So it's like, really, we can't really fault it. It's almost like why they put you on a diet of like white rice when you have an allergy and they don't know what it is, and then they add one thing at a time to kind of like cancel stuff out. People don't do that. Definitely grass-fed beef is always better because it's less poisoned by humanity. But yeah, no, I do everything because I like variation. I like for people to not get tired. That's why I don't let them pick their meals. That sounds really bad. There's no menu that you pick from, because then what's going to happen is you're going to get stuck in the same. You're going to order the same 3 meals, and then you're going to get tired of it, and you're going to fail.
Yeah.
So, you have to have variation. Like, I have some people that say that they don't eat pork. So then what do? I have to switch it out. And it sucks because they are missing out on that pork dish that, I'm so excited about, that has this flavor. But some people, it's for religious purposes. Some people, they just don't eat it because they're allergic. Whatever. I have people that don't want fish, so they don't eat fish. So they miss out on the fish dishes, but they get a substitute. But yeah, no, you definitely have to use everything. I mean, we serve lamb, we serve chicken, lots of dark meat chicken, right? We don't do any breast because for what? Turkey, everything.
No, I don't know for what. For what?
What do you mean?
Why not breast?
Because it has no fat. Breast is just trimmed out.
Okay.
It's just trimmed down, and we want that fat. That fat is really, it's really good. It's animal fat. It's good for you. It's the fat we want.
Okay.
It's not the fat that you want to stay away from, which is like a highly processed fats, like canola oil, vegetable oil,
avocado oil.
No, avocado oil is the best, especially because it's cold pressed, so it's not going through those processes. Avocado oil. The oils are avocado oil, olive oil, coconut oil, MCT oil, but you can't cook with that. But the MCT oil, you can intake it. So those are the main ones.
Okay.
That you want to take in oil-based fats. Other fats that you can have is coconut oil. I'm sorry, coconut in itself, not the oil. You can have nuts that are high in fat. You want to try and stay with certain ones, that, macadamians, pecans, so like that are not as high in omega-6s, which is a whole other ballgame. Mm-hmm. That I actually, I wish I would have known sooner, but eventually I learned, it's like, we've been eating almonds. People love almond milk. They try to say that it's the best, the best alternative for regular milk, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, they're so high in omega-6s, which are very inflammatory.
Very interesting.
It's so
Cámbiate
crazy.
a coconut milk, caballero.
Coconut milk or heavy cream or heavy. Look, I do heavy whipping cream with a little bit of water, and I water it down. Okay. And to me, it is delicious.
I love hemp protein.
Hemp protein. Well, hemp seeds are fantastic.
Yes, that's my protein. Because for me, I can't have meats because it would make me sick. Okay. So I had to gradually get away from red meats, and then eventually I stayed away from chicken. Fish here and there, but I still get like very sick. And I know that everyone's body's different.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone reacts different, and that's why I had to change the way I ate too.
Yeah, no. Hemp seeds are great. Pumpkin seeds. Chia's like superfood.
Yeah, chia.
It's like chia.
I put it in all my smoothies.
Well, no, look, and I make like cereal. So, just to touch on that, like I'm allergic to nuts, right? So I can't have almonds, I can't have pecans, I can't have any of these delicious crunchy foods, which crunchy food helps with anxiety. Yeah. Right. Like when you're anxious, that you just reach, like what do you reach for a bag of chips? Or if you're keto, not keto, you want crunchy. Yeah. So since I kind of got, I lost that, I can't have it. I do little cereals. And I do it with shredded coconut that I toast with hemp seeds.
Nice.
With
So the coconut gives you the crunch.
The toasted coconut, the hemp seeds, the pumpkin seeds, all of that stuff. I put a little bit of milk in it, depending on what type of milk, either coconut milk or heavy creamer, and I eat it like a cereal. And it's like,
oh, that's yum.
But for somebody else, you could do any type of nut in it. You
Right.
could do pecan.
Let's go back to when I first started on the keto. That I wasn't sure. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it. I was eating only fish, and I'm like, I go to her house and I'm like, can I do this? And then she started to give me ideas like, yes, you could do sardines because they're high in fat, and they're different ways, right? But then those first 3 days, how crucial they are, how a body can react. I don't know if anyone doesn't react that way when you eliminate sugar altogether. But talk to us about what they call the keto coma.
The keto flu, yeah.
Oh, whatever.
The keto, you go into coma.
And me, I go into a coma.
Everybody's different, and it just depends on how sensitive you are to the glucose in your body and the sugar. But if you're coming off of a super high starchy diet, then you're gonna be in the suck. It's gonna suck. Basically, it's like a crackhead. Like, you're gonna have drug withdrawals, and your body, sugar is so addictive, and your body thinks that it needs it so much that it's gonna start doing everything to get you to have it. So it's worse than caffeine withdrawals, really.
Wow.
Headaches, you'll get flu-like symptoms. You can even get fever, chills, nausea, because your body's trying to, it's got a red alarm going on saying, oh my God, like, where's my crack? Like, where's my crack? Where are my drugs?
Cotton mouth. I mean, I remember my mouth drying, and I was like, something's happening to me. And then I remember being at work in the office, and I'm like, luckily there were multiple people on this diet, and they all knew about the tricks and whistles. And I'm like, okay. So I'm like, I'm here like I was shaking, and I'm like, oh my God, something is wrong with me.
Your sugar was low.
I was having, I don't even know, I couldn't even describe it. My friend's like, do you want a keto snack? And I'm like, a keto what? Tell me about this. Tell me about this. I was angry. I was like shaking. It was bad. It was really bad. Aww. And then he shows up with this little chocolate Reese's keto that's probably not good for you, but we're going to talk about that. And he's like, here. And I'm like, tears were running down my face. Aww. I was crying. He's like, what is wrong with you?
You're like, I'm like, oh sugar.
I'm like, oh my God, you just saved my life.
Well,
and I ran to Walmart, and I'm like, give me those snacks, all of them.
And then you called me, and I was like, why did you buy all of that, Maciel? I'm like, no.
You can make yourself a mug cake. And I'm like, why didn't I know about this? Why didn't I look it up in Pinterest?
Well, you don't know about it because you don't know what you don't know. So that's why, it's good to be on the search for knowledge all the time and try and learn. And
you're right. I wasn't even thinking about that. I was thinking about how great that piece of keto badness it was, and I'm like, okay, craving has been satisfied. I can move on. But yes.
So imagine that lasts, 3-4 days depending on the person. But imagine that there's some diets that are like that like kind of keep you at like a low sugar but never get you to transfer over to the ketone level where your body starts to produce ketones. Like, they always keep you running your fuel tank on empty, right? And they just give you like that half a gallon of gas, and then it goes empty. And so that's why you see people that they're on a diet and they fail because it's not sustainable. Number one, because estás de mal genio all the time. You're upset, you're cranky, you're hangry. Like, honestly, once you get past those first few days, there's no reason for anybody that's doing keto and doing it properly, on a ketogenic lifestyle, to get hangry. Mm-hmm. You just don't do it. Like, unless you're passing like a 20-something hour fast that it's like you knew you had to eat, 3 hours ago because your body started telling you I'm hungry. You don't get hangry anymore. Like, that doesn't happen. Like, those hormonal, shifts that you wake up angry, or they don't happen anymore because your body is running on a cleaner fuel. Mm-hmm. And it's, I currently have somebody that rents out the kitchen 2 days a week. And she's another meal delivery service. She's balanced meals, macro-based. And that's all great. And whatever works, and business is business. And if there's people that want that and you can provide that service, fill the need, make the service, make your business, make your money. But from a perspective of how our bodies as humans function, no. Like, it's not sustainable to tell somebody that they need to live off of not a slim fast, like a Weight Watchers. How many people do Weight Watchers? They're like super excited. Oh, I'm in my points, but I went to McDonald's and I had a triple cheeseburger, but I'm still in my points. It's like, you're literally feeding yourself garbage, and you're going to be hungry, and you're putting garbage in the tank, and your body's going to react. We're not made to have those things. So, you know, basically when you have the keto flu, it's bad for some people. For some people, they don't get it so bad. And one way to kind of kill that off a little bit is to make sure you're hydrated, because the first couple of days your body starts to let go of all of its it's water, it's sodium, and to have a little bit of like salt. Like, so you can have a little bit salt to your meals, or add a little bit of salt so you retain a little water, so you don't feel like dry mouth, all of those things. But yeah, the keto flu is real. It's real. It's real. It's more real for some people, and then again, it depends. Like, you were only doing pescatarian for a long time, and you're probably thinking like, oh, I'm pescatarian, I don't eat meat, but I'm having pasta, and I'm having bread, and I'm having sandwiches, and I'm having this, and I'm having that, and it's what happens to a lot of like vegetarians too.
Yeah, I used to go to that problem, and when I first started, because again, I didn't know any better. I was just trying different, like, I didn't want to look at it as diets. I kind of wanted to look at it like a lifestyle change. Because if I keep telling myself it's a diet, I'm gonna quit. I'm gonna go right back to my ways. So I decided I'm just gonna change the way I eat, little by little. So that's what I did. Like, so at first I was eating a lot of pasta, rice, breads, and I was actually gaining weight versus losing weight. So then I ended up switching it. I added more greens instead to my diet. So I like all of the protein, I get it from the greens.
Okay.
From all greens. And then I have a lot of beans, lentils, seeds, nuts.
Seeds. Nuts.
She hesitates when she says nuts.
So that's what I try to balance it out. But when she was telling me about keto, I was like, that's very interesting, because I haven't explored that world yet. And like, I would love to learn more about keto.
It's definitely harder for a vegan, and I'll be honest with you. Like, my meal service doesn't. I don't cater to vegans, because I would have to set up a whole separate menu, and it's not sustainable for me. But can it be done? Absolutely. Is it work? You're gonna have to plan? Yes. But once you kind of know what works and what has what macros, then it becomes easy, because you can kind of just throw stuff together. In your case, depending on what you're having now, just on the stuff that you named right now, the one thing that you would have to get rid of is lentils.
Okay.
Lentils and beans, all of them, just because they are very inflammatory.
But they have a lot of protein.
They do, but they're still very inflammatory. Which I have. It's funny, because I have another vegan friend that he's like, you know, I get all my from beans. I all my protein from beans, this and that. And I mean, he's very thin. He's tall. He's a dude.
Dudes.
He's a dude. He's a
They
dude.
always lose like 2-3 times more than us.
No,
faster.
He's very thin. He's very thin looking. Like, he's not. It's not like that he's like bodybuilding or no. He's very thin. He's very like indie. He's a cool guy, but he's very into it, and you get sick off of protein, so I get it. Like, if there's a reason for it, but for somebody just to be vegan, just to say that they're vegan, or just because they want to, and not necessarily for the animals, to me doesn't make sense for your body, because we are not vegetarians. We have, canines for a reason. Like, we were hunters and gatherers. Now, if it makes somebody sick, that's a different story. It's just like you said, your genome is different, or maybe like you have a different issue, but when you look at the foods that are inflammatory, beans. Lentils are on there.
I remember eating lentils, and I would have to like drink a vino or something when I went vegan, because I did do that. I looked at myself. No, yo he hecho de todo. And that's how I weaned off of being vegan into and it was vegan. Like, I was having like tempeh. Like, I was doing it hardcore. Like, I didn't want to be
definitely a harder lifestyle.
Yes, I would have to take my own snacks. Like, I came to a point where I didn't want to be that person that would go to a restaurant and be like,
there's nothing on here.
Yeah, ensalada, please.
Yeah, I had a friend tell me, she's like, it's really hard to be a vegan in a restaurant. Like, you eat a lot of French fries and
pasta
and a lot of little salad. Like, yeah, because there's
spaghetti, fettuccine, give me all the pastas, because, and then again, I plateaued at a point because it was just so much carbs, because you're trying to get full off of this, that I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna wean it into pescatarian, so I'll just have fish now and eliminate it and try to get full off of that, so I'm not eating so much fish. And then at that one point, I'm like, okay, I miss my bacon. And I'm like, you know what? Sorry, little piggies.
Whenever whenever I try, like if I'm in someone's house and they're cooking, I don't like to be that person to like say no, I don't want to eat that. I don't eat that, so I'll eat it. I'll end up throwing up bad. Like,
oh, that's not good.
Bad.
Yeah.
And like, okay, for me, my body, red meat makes me very inflammatory. Like I'll get.
Yeah, which is fine. Keto wouldn't be the worst thing for you either, because the thing is you're here worried about what your protein intake is gonna be, and keto is not high protein. Keto is not paleo. Keto is high fat, moderate protein, low carbohydrate. So you would just have to eat the vegetables that are more keto friendly, that aren't so high in carb, and your protein, you would be able to get it from any source. Hemp. Really, hemp, you can get it from hemp. You can actually take a protein shake, a whey protein shake if you needed to, so on and so forth, because you're small, you're a woman, you're not bodybuilding, you're not lifting, you're not tearing muscle fibers like crazy, like you don't need to have an excess of money.
I see you, boo.
No, and
I see you. I ain't gonna gym.
I eat usually one time a day, and I'm good. Maybe one time a day and a snack, and I'm not hungry. Like, and coffee, because I love coffee. Like coffee is like my morning ritual. But you wouldn't need to worry so much about how you would replace the protein intake, because you're not lifting hard. You're not doing like that type of atrophy to the muscles that you need to repair so much.
If you're doing yoga, doing yoga,
I do yoga and I work out. Like I do work out. I don't lift anymore. I used to lift.
It's fine. She still needs.
I'm saying for your protein intake.
She would still need to have it, because those little tears and all those things that make your your muscles strong, you do it. But it's not like she's need an excessive protein where she's worried about where she's gonna get it if beans were to be cut out.
Got it.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean...
Because her mama's Dominican and likes to make los frijoles ricos.
Oh,
they're good. They're good.
She doesn't even eat the chicharrona de pollo or anything.
Oh, no, I can't. Oh, my God.
I do now.
I can't. Oh, my God. There's times where I'm like, oh, I miss it. And then as soon as I'll try it, it reminds me why I can't eat it. So it's like, I just take it out of my head.
Is it something that you were like diagnosed with? That you have, or it's just something you feel when you have it?
No, I had high levels of cancer cells in my uterus, and they did like biopsies. Like they checked it, and it all went back to red meat. It's because I wasn't eating red meat organically either back then.
Okay.
So it had a lot of antibiotics, a lot of what else do they inject in them? They
just give them garbage food. They give them gluten food.
They give them bad food. They inject them with hormones as well. That's what it was. It was really the hormones that was in the meat that was messing me up. So once I went from eating that to organic meat, and then it worked out. But after like a few years, I just started to throw up every time I ate it.
Yeah.
Every time
your
I
body
ate
rejects it. Yeah.
Yeah. So for like health purposes, I ended up doing the vegetarian first. Then I kind of went vegan. Then I kind of went back to vegetarian. Like I've been going like in a back and forth, trying to see what works for me, like sustain. Like so
diet
right now,
diet or lifestyle wise.
Do eggs hurt you?
Not really. I can have it.
Wait, eggs is a good source of protein.
Yeah.
Easy source of protein.
Right.
I'll have it sometimes. I don't really care.
She's pretty much eliminated all animal
stuff.
Yeah.
All animal stuff.
All animal things.
Yeah. Pretty much.
But she does hemp, and she does her protein shakes.
I mainly hemp, but hemp, and I use chard.
Okay.
And kale in my smoothies.
No, that's great. No, and the other one, I actually bought a protein shake. I don't remember what it was, but this back in the day that I used to have, and it was a vegan protein shake because I'm allergic to whey as well. Oh. So I can't have like a whey protein shake for after
You're
anything.
welcome.
Exactly. So I had that vegan one, and I liked it because I was able to put in like coffee in it, like coffee, like decaffeinated, just like the instant coffee, or put cacao in it with a little bit of whatever to like change the flavor on a vanilla base, and that was really good. So that's an option. Well, I guess whey would be considered animal protein though, because it's milk, lactose.
Oh, okay.
So, but the one that I was taking was a vegan one, which I can send her the picture after and see if you like it.
Yeah.
And then so we discussed the meat that you can do meat, fish, and or plant-based if you really do kind of like the research of what proteins you can have and what you can't have. So that's for sure happening. And you said that with yoga, it's not considered like heavy lifting or anything like that, that your regular protein intake can work for that.
Yeah, for somebody like her, let's say you wanted to be like on a 12 to 1500 calorie diet. to say something, because you don't need to lose weight. Like, you're just maintaining.
No, I'm maintaining. Fine. Like, I lost weight already, girl. I was 89 pounds. And
did you not see our last podcast? Because we posted those pictures.
No, I didn't finish it. No,
I was keep scrolling until you see those pictures.
I didn't see it. But if you already lost it and you're just trying to maintain, then
I'm just maintaining right now. Like, yeah, I don't want to lose anymore, because then I get too skinny. I look weird, too skinny.
The head gets bigger. The body
gets smaller.
The body gets smaller, and you're just like.
No, I mean it's not that hard for you, because really, let's say you're on a 1,500 calorie or 1,000 calorie, whatever it is that you decide your calorie intake needs to be. 70% of it needs to be fats, which you can get no problem outside of animal fats from any of the stuff that you already have. And then 20 to 25% is protein, which it isn't as much as you would think. So like a fatty nut would have protein and, you know, the fat that you would want. Same thing with coconut, the same thing with a lot of things. So, you know, your big thing would be to get as many calories as you can from fat, but there's a lot of fats that you can get them from.
Okay. Got it. And what about when you plateau? Like, let's say you've been doing keto. Like, what's the main issue with plateauing on keto? Like, your weight's not changing at all, and it's been a few...
Well, I mean, on anything, if anybody thinks that everything is a linear thing going up and that there's not going to be plateaus, then you live in fucking la la land. You know, that's not how anything works. It's not how business works. It's not how life works.
Yeah.
Nothing works like that. So, you know, you always have your, you know, your moments where you plateau, and those are moments to be able to reassess. And that's why kind of you're keeping track of your data. And I'm not telling people to be crazy and MyFitnessPal 100% of the time and be neurotic about it where it consumes your life. But that's where data is important, because then you can track to see. So, for example, if you know that you're having, you know, you're eating strictly keto, but you're having 2 keto cookies every night, then maybe it's not necessarily that, you know, maybe you're 200 calories over and you're not working out to burn those 200 calories. So there's still that there's no deficit for you to continue to lose weight. The same thing too is there's some people that are just way more, and it's funny because I'm reading a book about it, that are way more sensitive or way more prone to getting fat. Like, that's it. That's just it is. That's why there's people that can sit down and eat pasta and pasta and pasta and pasta and pasta, and they function fine and they don't gain weight. It's not the normal. It's not what you always see. It's very, very much the exception. But and then you see people like, I look at a boiled pasta and I'll get fat. Right?
Because struggles real with
because you're more prone to gaining weight. Your body is more sensitive to a cellular level, or you're more insulin resistant. You know, so there's all these scientific things that could happen. So when you plateau, that's when you look and you reassess. If it's been working, if it's like what I'm saying from a standpoint of just looking the outside without looking at labs, without drawing blood, if your skin is better, your hair feels better, you feel better, you have more energy, you're waking up before the alarm clock, you're more active, you're out running your kids, all of these things, like.
And I remember that was my worry. Like, listen, I'm doing keto. I'm going to the doctor. Like, I had the year before I had gone, and my cholesterol level was like, it wasn't like high, but it was like, oh, we need to like test you because of high cholesterol, whatever. Imagínate, I was espantándome all the pasta known to land. I was like, it was bad. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm eating all this fat. I was freaking out because I was going to the doctor, and they checked everything, and normal. Nothing to be alarmed. They didn't even bring that up, like if that was a concern. And to me, that was like, man, I wish I would have known this many years ago, because I feel like, yes, that's not like it's a diabetic it's not a diabetic cure. It's not a diabetic save, like it's not gonna save anybody that's diabetic, but that's pretty much what they tell diabetes, like people with diabetes, because they told my mom, like, you just need to cut your sugar. Bread, all the anything that's bread is pretty much sugar, which is similar to keto. Like, it's very close to what a keto diet.
Yeah, it's a low carb. But I mean, and the thing is that you can actually save a diabetic's life. You can get people that are, you know, not the ones that aren't producing glucose, but I think it's the type 2, if I'm not mistaken, that you can get them where they're no longer diabetic. Like, a lot of people have done it. A lot of people have done it just simply by doing exercise, because there's a calorie deficit, because they're burning through that glucose. Yeah. However, if you want it to be sustainable and not pasar hambre and feel good and have, you know, no inflammation, all of these things, then you do a keto diet. Because the thing is that people don't understand that the macronutrient system of it, say protein, carbohydrate, fat. Those are the three macronutrients. Protein, whatever your body doesn't use to repair muscles and to kind of like fix up the damage in the body, turns into glucose. Carbohydrates turn into glucose. Whatever your body doesn't need to burn, need to use, it turns into glucose. That glucose gets stored. The only one that doesn't turn into glucose is fats. So back in the day when the whole low fat, propaganda happened, it was in the benefit of them to say, oh, low fat, low fat, low fat, low fat. Fat's bad for you. It's gonna be heart conditions, high blood pressure, all of these things. And basically it was kind of big pharma and the big farming industry and all these things that they wanted to pump you with this commodity food. Mm-hmm. So they made fat the enemy. And that's why keto has taken so long to become popular, because you've got a lot of money behind it saying, like, no, we're not going to let you bring this to light. Because if you stop eating all of that and you start to eat keto, like, in a way that's more closely to ketogenic or ketogenic, guess what? Like, your body starts to do what it's supposed to do. Your body starts to fight for you. Your immune system gets stronger. You're no longer living in a constant state of inflammation, which is literally
everybody,
the population, right?
The population.
Literally, that's why you have so many Karens. It's like, for sure she had a bowl of cereal for this morning. That's just being such a bitch, Yeah. But literally, they live in this state of inflammation, and what ends up happening is that you become sick. Mm-hmm. And then
it causes so many.
Is that I feel it?
Everything else.
I do. Let's say I'm on
course.
keto the whole week. Like, I've been doing my cauliflower rice and I'm doing this, and then I have one cheat night. The next day, I feel it.
Yeah.
I feel it in my, like, how my body wakes up, and I'm just like, I'm rolling out of bed like 8:15, 8:30, start work in my pajamas. Like, I'm literally rolling out of the bed. My mouth, everything feels just weird, like not normal. And I know it's because of the meal I had the night before. Mm-hmm. That wasn't as healthy as I've been eating all week.
Well, yeah, your body is like, oh my God, we're a sacred place, we're a temple, and then you put poison in it. It's like, why are you doing this?
Yes.
I've had those.
No, I'm telling you, like, and it's funny because people are like, oh, I'm gonna do a cheat day. I'm like, listen, like,
is it worth it?
It's not even about if it's worth it, because like how everybody says, todo en moderación, everything in moderation. If you're at a wedding and you want to have a little piece of cake, have a little piece of cake. That's fine one time. But that one little piece of cake is not what's going to get you fat again, right? Yeah. It's the cookies you have after. Once you do that, you refill that glucose tank. Now you have to kind of start the process over.
Have to start all over again.
You need to get rid of that glucose so your body continues to produce ketones. And let me tell you, there's some people that are a lot more, like I said, efficient. My brother runs Ironmans. And that guy finished an Ironman. Imagine how many calories he burned doing an Ironman. Imagine. And he took 2 packs of Oreo cookies to the face because he freaking wanted to, and he did his blood ketone level, and it was super high, but because he was burning so much, so there was no glucose left, like legit no glucose left. So everybody is different, and you start to learn about your body individually, and that's why when you hit a plateau, you have to reassess. Say, okay, well, what am I doing? What am I doing different? Oh, okay, listen, I'm having 2 glasses of wine every day. Oh, or I'm doing this. Or I partied all weekend. So it takes a little bit of time, inflammation,
And we can party on keto. Because you told me you
straight
can
alcohol.
party.
Straight alcohol.
Cuéntanos de the party drinks, because I think that's like a side topic of all of our conversations. The correct way to party on keto.
Well, I mean, nobody's telling you to become an alcoholic, because people are like, oh, okay, I can drink it straight. Awesome.
Drive responsibly.
Yeah, no, it's the thing about keto, and this is why I'm such an advocate, because I think it's a sustainable way to eat. Okay, it's not sustainable to have to calorie count and weigh your food every single day and that's not sustainable. You're not going to do that. You're going to end up failing. You're going to fall off the wagon. So this is a more sustainable way where you can actually be a little bit loose with the reins and know what you're supposed to eat. And then if you do hit a plateau, say, okay, well, it's because I'm eating 3,000 calories and I should really be eating 1,500. No problem. Scale back. But your body will still be running efficiently, right? And at that point, you're going to be stuffing food down your mouth, because let me tell you something. You don't get hungry. You feel very satisfied all the time. And since you don't have those glucose level spikes up and down, you don't crave a lot of stuff. Like, maybe a woman will crave when she's about to get her period, something, and that's
make yourself a keto mug cake, por favor.
Yeah, that's a hormonal thing. But so you don't crave it, but it's sustainable because you can go to any restaurant and you can eat something that will fit into your macros. might be a dirty keto. It might not be the
We're
best
gonna talk
choice.
about the dirty and the clean. We're gonna talk
It's
about
not,
that.
it might not be the best choice, but it's the best out of the two bad choices, kind of like all of our presidential elections for the history of this country. No, it doesn't think they're always all bad. Don't get mad at me, Mario. No, but basically, you know, when you go out, you can still go out. Like, don't do beer. If you're a beer drinker, you're screwed. Don't do it. But you can do alcohol straight that's not flavored. So, like, I do tequila reposado or tequila añejo on the rocks with a squeeze of lemon. I enjoy it. You can do whiskey. You can do gin and soda. You can do vodka soda. So, like, you can drink, like, put on your big panties, and you're going to be drinking drinks. It's not going to be fruity stuff. It's not going to be that stuff. Soda water is your friend. No tonic, because that's full of sugar. You know, on the occasion, there's people that do Diet Coke. I don't recommend Diet Coke because it's basically
What about
poison.
Coke Zero?
It's poison too.
Okay, but if you're craving a Coke,
If you're craving
You're better off
craving
drinking-
a Coke, you're probably not craving a Coke. You probably just want bubbles.
okay.
And you're better
And
off
if you
doing
want
like
bubbles?
a LaCroix or like a soda water.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't like LaCroix.
Well,
Okay,
there's a
you
bunch
know.
of flavors.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that because we have a little bag of keto stuff. But first, tell us about dirty keto versus clean keto. So, give us an example of a dirty keto plate.
I'm on the street. I'm starving. I'm gonna stop at Wendy's, and I'm gonna have a son of a baconator, but I'm gonna have it wrapped in lettuce instead of on the bun.
Okay, and why is that considered keto? I mean, a dirty keto.
Dirty keto because it's a fast food restaurant. You know that their meat is not grass fed. You know it's fast food. I mean, those are supposed to be, I think, flame broiled patties in Wendy's, I think. But you know, it's like what they say. Like that's not something that I would recommend for people to have every single day. As far as if they really are flame broiled, then it's not as bad as one would think. But you don't know the quality of their meat, of what it actually is, where they're getting it from, where they're sourcing it from.
And then obviously clean is opposite of that. You know where it is. It's in your house. You got the burger. You made sure you barbecued it or grilled it.
Or you sourced it from somebody like, you know, that's sending you grass fed beef. You know, those type of things.
So clean is considered grass fed.
The cleanest is considered grass fed. It's very expensive, but it is the cleanest.
It is the cleanest.
Okay.
You know, and there's a lot when you were saying about organic. Organic does not mean grass fed.
It's not. It doesn't.
And
you have to read the back to see what's really on it. Because like for me, for instance, you can put whatever you want on the front of your label, put whatever you want, but on the back you cannot lie. You have to put what's actually in the product.
The product, yeah. So that's the thing too. It's like all of these, you know, the Impossible Burger. It's like people are, I can have an. No, if you're keto, you can't have that because it's full of beans, it's full of soy, it's full of this, it's full of that. But that would be a dirty keto, which I'm saying like spur of the moment, like you need something, right? You have to have it like cheese sticks, but you rip off like the breading. That's a dirty keto. That's deep fried in probably vegetable oil or manteca, or pork grinds from Sedanos. Those are fried. Those are fried in you know in not the best oil.
What
right?
about the ones in a bag?
The ones in a bag, or also it depends which ones you're getting, right? Because now they're selling like better ones. The other one that's like a dirty keto is like mayonnaise.
Okay.
Mayonnaise. Regular mayonnaise, very high in fat, is very good. Now you have some that'll say like olive oil mayonnaise.
Mm-hmm.
But when you read the label, it says olive oil, but then it has canola oil, soybean oil, all of these other oils that you really don't want to be taking in too much. So you're getting your fat calories, and it's not necessarily that it's like the absolute worst thing in the world, but it's not the cleanest thing in the world.
Is too much cheese not good?
Yes. Too much cheese is not good. Only because cheese is slightly inflammatory, but like, for example, people don't understand. You can buy a block of cheese, and there's cheeses that are good, that are nice, high in fat, that are super high in protein.
Like?
If I'm thinking off the top of my head.
What about Parmesan?
I think Parmesan is one of the okay ones. I think cheddar is okay. Is okay. When I say okay, it's not that it's not okay on keto. I'm saying it's just a higher fat ratio than it is protein.
Yes. When I eat too much cheese, or when I did eat too much cheese, I would break out. I would start having pimples all over my face.
Yeah, so you just might have an allergy, basically like a protein allergy.
Yeah, like milk too. Like if I would have cereal with like milk.
Amelia is strictly living in a bubble. She's gonna have to ahorita meterse en un bubble of no food.
No, and then I met a lot of vegans, you know, to see what do they eat, what's their lifestyle, like how is it that they do it, and it's hard. It's actually one of the hardest lifestyles to obtain because everything has something of animal.
Yeah, no.
But the reason, like, like, okay, vegans, they do it mainly because they want to change. They do it for the animals, really.
Yes.
That's why she said, like, if you're not doing it for the animals,
they're
then
doing it
it's a
more
joke.
for the animals because they don't want to kill the animal. And, you know, like, I didn't go into it for that reason, but definitely I understand and I respect it. Why, you know? I went into it because I was getting sick and I wanted to learn research. So when I did go into the community of, like, the vegan community, they always say that protein originates from plants. The animal eats the protein, the plant, then we get secondhand protein from the animal. So technically, we can cut off the animal and just eat the protein straight from the plants, and then we'll be fine. So I was like, okay, I'll try that. So
what do you think about that?
That's when I got into hemp protein and kale and all that.
I would have to do a little bit more research before I commented on it. I don't think that it's 100%. I think it's definitely a misleading statement, but I haven't done enough research to sit here and, like, fight about it, because that's like saying that, like, I'm sure that if I had to eat one of you guys, you're carne roja, and you're full of protein and you have muscle, you have tissue, you have fiber.
It's a life or death situation.
Well, what I'm saying is that the animals are too, and you think about it, and it's like all the mammals, they breastfeed just like us, and the milk that we're drinking has protein in it.
Yes, but it's our own milk, and we're like, if
no, I understand that it makes sense for the animal to,
it's our own
get it.
milk, like your own milk, but then the animal, we take their milk.
No, which I don't like. That's garbage. I get it.
We don't technically need their milk. It's for their baby. It's not for us.
Yes, that 100%. But the whole thing of that, the animals get it.
So we're getting
from the plants.
Yes,
yeah,
because
I don't know
like
I would.
The protein like if you do the research on protein, where it originates from plants. Like that is already, like, scientifically. And then, like, the strongest animal, so gorilla, I want to say, gorillas. Yeah, they only eat plants. So, and they're strong. They have muscles. Like, it comes from plants. So, it is in the research that way, but everyone's body works different. So, some people, they would have to have meat or not. You know, it depends mainly on your body.
Yeah, what your body doesn't reject is okay with, or whatever the case might be. We were talking about.
Oh, wait, to what you're saying. Sorry, because I just a light bulb off. There is research, and don't quote me on it because I don't know where it is that it's coming from right now in my head. But so, for example, gorillas, which are very intelligent, they only eat plants, and they're very smart. But there's research saying that the reason that we are as smart as we are and our brain is as large as it is because of the fats that we consumed, which the fats that we consumed have always been from animals. So, you know, it's different species entirely. I mean, we might be mammals, all of us together, but it's a different species, it's different brain structures, different everything. So that's why I say, like, yeah, okay, like a deer can just eat plants, and they're very strong. I mean, you know, they run really fast and they're very agile. They're all these things, but they don't have to have the same processes that we have with a brain, belly, actions, learning,
talking,
all of these things that we do as human beings that all of these other animals don't do.
That's
interesting.
That is a very good.
But
point.
I mean, we've already developed. We've already advanced to that stage. So if she wanted to go vegan, it's not like she's not going to take back the human race or anything like that.
Yeah, because we're already changing, and we are evolving as a planet anyway. We're all trying to go healthy, whether it's keto, whatever. At least the planet is trying to go healthy because we have. There's more awareness.
There's more awareness.
We haven't been healthy for a very long time.
Well, there's definitely more awareness, and then now people are kind of waking up. But I don't know that people were this unhealthy until they started to just like flood really since the agricultural boom. Which is where they just flooded the food supply with gluten, and your body didn't know what that was, and our bodies don't know what to do with that. So it's like, okay, well, we don't know what to do with this. We're just gonna store it in a file. We're gonna save it for later. We're gonna store, and that's what people don't understand. The same thing with fruits. Look, as a vegan, like, you know, or just as somebody that thinks, you know, fruits are healthy. I'm not saying that they're not healthy. Fruits are great. They're not keto because they have so much sugar. The thing is that fruits used to be seasonal. And now you can get fruits at whatever time of the year you want. You can get them flash frozen where they have the same nutritional density that they had when they were fresh. And it's just an excess. So the seasons of when crops used to grow.
That's very important that you say that, because like I plant, like I have my own garden and I grow my own everything, but it's all seasonal. So I'll only eat a certain fruit at a certain time.
Exactly.
But that's not how everyone lives, and that's not everyone's option.
Exactly. No, I mean, you have people that are, you got bananas shipped to New York. They don't grow that over there.
They
You know
can't
what I
grow
mean?
that
Like,
over there.
so
Yeah.
it's an excess and an excess. Like there's no auto regulation, which is what nature probably used to do. Which is why there's that big debate on intermittent fasting. Oh no, fasting's bad for you. Well, fasting's bad for you if the first thing you put in your mouth is garbage. If you put a very starchy meal and you overconsume calories and you're fasting because your body thinks that you're starving and it's going to hold on to it, you're running on a different fuel source, right? Whereas fasting is basically what a lot of animals in the wild have to do, because your meal is whenever your next meal is. So you're fasting.
Well, I don't think the cavemen were eating 3 meals a day.
No, definitely they weren't having snacks. They didn't have a candy drawer. They didn't have cereal.
They didn't have a pantry. I mean, no, there was no pantry. Pantry change the ways of life.
And another thing, like the size of our stomach is this small, and we don't need to eat more than this amount. And sometimes people eat more than that size.
One of the most beautiful things about being a human being is that we're so complex and we're so incredible, and people don't respect that. They don't respect, just like they don't respect motorcycles, like the speed or we're so complex and we're so magnificent. Like really, we're literally a science project, and it's like, and you just, then I feel bad, I'm gonna go to the doctor, I'm gonna have a bunch of medicine. It's like, no, like you don't need to be taking, I mean, very rare cases you need to be taking certain medicines, but most of the time you need to be able to let your body fight for itself, and you wouldn't need all of this like it wouldn't be all of this illness care, right? It would be all preventative.
Exactly.
But,
I agree.
It's just a change in the world and what it is, and it's convenience, and people are busy, and I don't have kids, but I know you have kids, and sometimes it's easier to give those fuckers chicken nuggets and shut the fuck up and eat chicken nuggets. I get it.
Yes, it's very true.
I get it.
And you know what? I see it now on my teenager, where his appetite, like he's just more hungry. He's hungrier. He's just like,
oh yeah.
I'm
He's gonna eat you out of house and home.
Tearing it up, and I'm like, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, he has the pantry in his room, and it's popcorn, and it's all the
Between
snacks.
him and Mario, they're gonna eat you out of house.
Oh my god! And I'm like, this is why I don't buy snacks, and I get angry when snacks are brought into the house, because that's all they'll eat, and it just makes them hungrier. All the granola bars, all the sweets, all the things that they find in the pantry, at the end of the day, is just opening up his appetite more and more and more. It just makes him hungry because he's not fulfilling what he needs to eat, which is more protein. So it fills him up. No, he'll leave it halfway. And he's like, oh no, I'm full, I don't want to eat. But then in the middle of the night, he's opening that pantry and tearing it up.
Yeah.
And I see it a lot with him, because me, I can say, no, I'm not going to go into the pantry. I'm not going to eat it because I know it's not good. And I know what sugar does. It opens up my appetite to all the other bad stuff. But him,
he's a kid, yeah.
I'm not going to put a lock and key on the pantry. No, I mean, at that point, what have we come to?
Yeah.
But I see it a lot, at least in my going into teenager life right now. It's bad. It's bad, and you want to stop it, but at the same time, it's hard, because you don't want to
you don't want to give them a complex.
Yeah, you don't want to eat sugar. I'm not gonna start them on keto. No, it's gonna be moderate. Like, kids are gonna eat candy. Kids are gonna eat the sugar because they do it at school, or they have $1 and they're gonna buy it. So
I had a hard time. Like, I started eating organically first, and so it was 7 years ago, before my son was born. So 8-9 years ago, when he was born, all he had was organic everything. But that messed me up, because we went to New York for a vacation, and there wasn't organic anything.
Oh,
and
no.
I had to feed him regular food. That boy threw up the entire time.
I know, pobrecito.
So then, like, what I did was I started introducing non-organic food with organic to, like, give it that balance, because when he's out, I can't control what he's eating, especially when he's in school. And
you're not gonna cook his meal over there.
Nope.
And it isn't gonna be organic.
No, but
I mean, they're healthy,
They're healthy.
The nasty bread, pero,
So,
nasty
like,
toast.
now himself, like, he's so used to eating healthy, it's he won't eat it. Like,
because he knows que le cae mal o le hace sentirse mal. He feels
Yes.
bad.
he'll
And on that note, we're gonna get into our label reading.
Oh.
And we brought several things. First, we're going to talk about
What do we have here, Johnny?
We're gonna put the showbiz music. Okay. We're gonna talk about this keto bread that I buy.
Let me see, because I've never seen it. Everybody always tells me about it. Where is this from? Aldi or somewhere else?
Aldi.
Let me see.
All right, let's talk about this label. What do you see? What's a no-no? Is it like a once in a blue moon when you're feeling to have a sandwich but you don't want to make fat bread?
Fat dough?
Fat dough, that thing.
Yeah. Okay, so then there's no like what's that called? Not commission, but there's no authority on that you can put keto on something. So right now when you put organic or there's certain labels that there is an authority on it that you cannot put that on your label unless it's like been, certified by whatever. So there's nothing like that for keto. There's one that is like reputable. So now everybody's just kind of putting on keto friendly or keto this and that. And
that's keto friendly.
It says keto friendly here because there's nobody that's going to check them.
Okay.
So keto friendly could mean a lot of things. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's the best option. If you really need a piece of bread, you're not going to pick your own bread. This is like a dirty keto option that you can do. But when you read it, it's got 9 carbs and it's got 9 grams of fiber. So that cancels out, which is fine. But it's water, modified wheat starch, wheat protein, which are gluten and not keto, oat fiber, wheat gluten, soybean oil, wheat bran, contains 2% of the less of following inulin, yeast, vinegar, salt, preservatives. So contains wheat. Okay. Right there, it wouldn't be considered like keto. They're saying it's keto friendly because one slice is supposedly 0 carbs.
Okay, so in other words, I'm cutting this out of my diet. You're having sandwiches.
Well, look, for example, like let's say you were eating this and you're having this, you're eating keto, and you hit a plateau. You say, but why or what? You know, we can take this out and see if you just have that extra sensitivity to the gluten. Gluten is very inflammatory. It will shock your body. It will stop your digestion. It kind of like short circuits everything. So that's the whole thing of reassessing. There's some people that can do this and they're fine because they stay within their macros, and as long as they're within 20 grams of carbs, they don't care what they're consuming, like almost like a Weight Watchers, a keto's Weight Watchers, but they just want to be under the 20 net carbs.
Got it.
But keto is not just about being under 20 net carbs. It's about the quality of the food that you're doing, because we want your machine to function as efficiently as possible without putting in, these extra poisons that you don't need to be having. But the bread is totally it's like a cultural thing, or like I need to have a sandwich. It's got nothing to do.
Well, it's also fast. Like if I'm in the middle of work and I just need to eat something and I don't have time to make myself like a scrambled eggs with veggies, and I need like ham, cheese, something quick. Let me go back to work. Then that's when I would have a sandwich.
What about a wrap with that?
You're gonna just put your ham and cheese and lettuce.
What if you don't have lettuce?
Then you just do a rollito of your ham and cheese.
Oh,
I know, but this is just a vehicle.
Yes,
what I'm saying is this is just like a comfort vehicle for us. This doesn't have,
right.
It's more like sitting at the table with your family to eat dinner. You know what I mean? It's more of a social thing. It's more of a.
In my case, it's more about I need to work.
How do you feel about wraps? Like,
they sell wraps that they say are keto friendly or that they have less carbs. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
It's usually the same thing. They have wheat. They have starches in them. Less and a better quality of starch, but nonetheless still a starch, still going to be inflammatory. However, there are keto wrap recipes. I've been getting served ads all day about these new keto wraps.
I love wraps. I could have wraps all day.
Well, that's fine, but and the thing is that for mostly everything there's a keto substitute. Like if you're allergic to almonds, like how I am, you do coconut flour, which is better because it's not as high in omega-6s.
Yeah.
You just have to know how to scale back the coconut flour, and you can make anything. Like you really can substitute regular recipes by just substituting out the flour that you're using. Or if it takes sugar, you use a different type of sugar, an erythritol or a xylitol.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about
we have
sugar.
Oh, I saw your review on it. Let me see
Magic spoon. Let's
you did
see.
do a review on it.
Yeah. I mean, to quench the crunch.
That's because the crunch is so important. Milk protein blend, casein, whey protein concentrate, sweet mature blend, allulose. No, it doesn't seem too bad. Tapioca starch. Trivial. Adds a trivial amount of
Tapioca
sugar.
starch not that bad.
Well, it's not terrible. Yeah, and the other thing that you see about this is where they show up here that it shows that it has 14 grams of carbs, and why they have to explain why it doesn't really have 14, because there's no line on the nutrition label yet for allulose or sugar alcohols, or for.
Can you talk to us about sugar alcohol? Like what is that? Is it sugar?
Yes and no. Sugar alcohols, depending on which one it is, they affect your blood sugar levels differently. So for example, like erythritol, which is the one that I use the most, those sugar alcohols have a different scale of measurement. So they have measurements based on how they affect your GI. Okay. So there's some sugar alcohols that don't affect your blood sugar at all, but they have a high GI impact, right? Which means that they get people gas, or they'll send you straight to the bathroom. It'll be a very exciting night. So hopefully you're in your house, or you're in the street. Those type of things. I like erythritol, which Swerve came out now, and now you can find erythritol that's not brand name erythritol. And that's the best one, I think. But there's still sugar alcohols, but it doesn't affect your blood glucose levels the way that regular sugar is. Which is a funny fact that I actually learned about in this book that I was reading. It starts to talk about table sugar and why people don't understand why table sugar is so hardcore not great for you, and why the sugar mills and the sugar cane industry is so like gung-ho about continuing to push sugar. Table sugar is a mix of fructose and sucralose, which are two things that would never otherwise be found together. Yeah. So your body does not know how to process it when you have table sugar. So basically it goes, what the fuck is going on here? And it doesn't know what to do with it, which is why Coca-Cola is so bad, which is why sugar in itself is so bad. And it's very different from just having the sugar in a piece of fruit. Mm-hmm. Now sugar is sugar. It ends up being sugar in your body the same way.
Yes, so if you work out, you'll be able to burn the sugar from fruits.
You'll be able to burn the sugar from fruits.
If you eat it in the morning, like if you have it in the morning time, you'll end up burning off that sugar.
Well, it depends, because if you're having it in the morning, then you're already starting your body with glucose. So that wouldn't be a ketogenic diet. Now, if you're not doing keto and you want to have fruit as your first pop of the day, you're setting up your body to start running on sugar, which there's a whole other argument for that as the first. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, not because it's breakfast because we sit and we eat eggs, bacon, cereal, whatever.
It's breakfast, because it's what you're feeding your body.
It's because it's break fast. Mm-hmm. It is what you're giving your body after many hours of not having anything. Mm-hmm. So that sets the tone for the rest of your day and how your body's going to function and for how your body's going to burn. So if you pop in a fruit, for example, the first thing you're doing is you're giving your body sugar. It's sugar that should be burned quickly, but it's still sugar that's getting processed. It's a fructose sugar. That's up to your whole like gut bacteria too, like the whole the flora in your body, like the probiotics. Why people have to take probiotics because their stomach doesn't work. So you're kind of stimulating that. The more sugar you have, the more the control, like it's completely uncontrolled, the gut bacteria that you have, which is not a good thing either. Which is why people get inflamed, all these things. So I would never break a fast with sugar personally, keto or not keto, just because it's not an ideal way. But everybody's different, and it depends on how you eat. Like you would be better off doing it with a protein or with a fat.
That's not my first meal, but I'm saying like during the daytime, I usually have my food. Like my breakfast is usually I'll have oatmeal, but
sugar.
Yes, but I was just gonna say, but it doesn't taste like anything.
It doesn't taste like anything, but it's still sugar. It still turns into sugar. It turns into sugar the same way.
Oatmeal?
Of course, it's a carbohydrate.
Oh.
That's another thing too. It's good for it's like you're like a 250-pound woman. ¿Sabes? Pero yo no entiendo por qué yo todavía estoy gorda. Si yo me despierto en la mañana, me hago un batido de fruta. De piña, de esas.
Those are so yummy, though.
They're delicious. I'm not saying they're not delicious. Y cuando te dan antojo, great. But what I'm saying is that people don't know, and they think that just because
it's healthy, it's a fruit, it's
grew
healthy.
Off of a tree, they picked it off the tree, even if it's organic or not, it's not gonna help your purpose. It's not in it's not in the path for you because you're trying to, reach this goal, and that is not going to help you. Sugar is sugar. Now, the table sugar has a different effect because I told you that the two blended and your body freaks out and it doesn't know what to do with it. But when you have fruit, yes, it's a cleaner one, but that fruit goes down to like a cellular level. So if you have too much fruit, you can still become diabetic. You can still become insulin resistant. Like, it's just excess. Fruits, again, like I was saying, were seasonal before. You couldn't have them all the time. That's it. That's the bottom line. Is that you're not going to be able to have it all the time.
But back to Magic Spoon, is this a yes? Is this a thumbs up or a thumbs down? If you're into, and you just need to crave the crunch.
If you have the luxury of being able to have that, and that's gonna keep you away from grabbing at something else that's worse.
Like Lucky Charms.
Yeah, Lucky Charms are delicious. Yes, then that is much better option, 100%. But if you can go with the pecans or anything like that,
Or
that's more natural.
the cereal that you mentioned earlier.
Exactly.
Okay.
Anything that has less ingredients, that has less like weird processed stuff in it, is always better for you.
Yeah.
That's why people go for the fruit, right? The natural one.
Yeah, like for me it works.
All right, our next one.
She's pulling out stuff that I've never even seen before. Let me see.
Okay, this was from a Marshall's purchase.
Jesus.
Because they always have like little keto things like right at the register. Okay.
And it says plant-based.
This is plant-based, 4 grams of net carbs, 7 grams of fiber, no added sugar, free from almonds, gluten, dairy, and soy.
Let's see it.
Tutti Keto brownies.
Tutti.
Tutti.
Sunflower seed butter, coconut oil, polydextrose, not sure what that is, glycerin, organic coconut flour, erythritol, organic Dutch cocoa powder.
It breaks apart in 2 seconds. Obviously, there's crumbs in there. At this point, I had to like eat a piece of crumb at a time. What do you think?
Cute.
What do you think?
Thank you. It's not terrible, but again, this cannot be a staple part of your diet.
Got it.
It's like for the
kill the
cheat.
plate.
For a cheat,
cheat, it's not bad. Now,
Or
you
like
see
your
the number
mouth
one.
is cotton mouth because you're on a ketosis situation.
So like you see like the sunflower seed butter, like sunflowers are very high in omega-6s as well. If I'm not mistaken, I would have to like
I think so.
do a quick Google search, which are inflammatory.
Okay.
That's what the whole thing is, like almonds,
So
almond flour,
own
almond
pinch.
things. Yeah, you can have one. It shouldn't break your bank or anything like that. But what I'm saying is that people think, oh, I'm gonna have this for breakfast every single day.
No.
It cannot be a staple part of your diet.
Got it.
It's a little cheat.
It's
like
a little cheat.
Not even a little cheat. It's just a treat. Let's not call it a cheat. It's a treat.
It's a treat.
Un treat. Un
A
little
little
treat.
treat.
Lakanto maple, because we needed some syrup for these keto.
Where did you
I
get
can't
all
wait.
this stuff? Let me
This
see
is from
this.
Amazon. Okay, because I needed this in my life for my pancakes.
I thought it was a glass bottle, but it's not. Sweet with monk fruit.
Jacky's surprised I have all these ingredients.
Potato starch. Oh, well, we were talking about the cheese before I forget.
Yes.
So they're putting in potato starch and all sorts of like gluten and stuff like that in shredded cheeses in the bags. Something that should have otherwise never had any carbs, any gluten, any of that stuff, to make sure that it separates it as a preservative. Preservatives are another thing you need to be very careful with. Is as far as just general health, whether you're keto or not keto, because nitrates, preservatives, all these things, we're not supposed to be ingesting that. That is very foreign to our bodies, so our bodies are just going nuts, and that's why we're having all these people that get sick, or that they have these ailments, or everybody in cancer, or everybody.
So potato starch is that?
Potato starch, they use it as a preservative,
Okay.
or to like degrad. Again,
But I thought Lakanto was like a very known keto.
no, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that they use it, potato starch, probably to thicken it up.
Which is basically water. That
Yeah,
is not
natural
thick.
citrus extract, which is what everybody uses vitamin C to preserve, which is okay. It's not bad. They're using chicory root, inulin, tapioca fiber. I don't mess with that too much. But potato starch is probably to make it a little bit thicker, even though it seems really watery.
It is.
Lakanto, sweet responsibly. Discover your cheat. Sweet responsibly. I mean, you couldn't have said it any better.
Oh, little spoonful.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. Is that the other thing is that people don't look at the serving sizes of these
They're just
products. Yeah.
I just
So
want
the
syrup.
serving size is 2 tablespoons. Now I know. I
Me
know.
mires con esa
I
cara.
know that ass is not pulling out a tablespoon and then it's 2 tablespoons. And it's not like you're gonna get thrown out too bad because it's only 25 calories. But again, these are things that are treats. These are things to make you feel otherwise
normal.
socially acceptable in the normal society. And it's okay in moderation. These things to kind of give you that taste on your pancake, all that stuff. I mean, it has to be like a really garbage product for me to be like, no, you can't have that ever.
What about Slim Jims?
Slim
I mean, not these in general. Just Slim Jims, please, because these are probably super high in sodium and
Original Slim Jim sizes. Sims. She got this at Dollar Tree. For sure. So, beef, pork, mechanically separated chicken.
Lord have mercy.
Girl.
Water, textured soy flour. Salt contains
Don't
2%
make me feel
less
bad.
of dextrose, flavoring, corn syrup, smoke flavoring, lactic acid, starter, culture, sodium,
Bota eso.
erythrobase,
Bota eso.
sodium nitrate, which is yeah. So this one specifically is garbage. You can do better by just getting like a biltong.
What the heck is that?
It's like a South African jerky.
Okay.
They sell them organically.
Where?
I don't know. Everywhere you can
Amazon?
find it. Yeah, you can find biltong on I think it's called biltong, and it's just jerky. It's just dried out meat, but they're not putting it. Now, when you start to get into like the flavors of these meat sticks, that's where people start to add flavoring. They add sugar. They add all sorts of stuff. So that's where you want to be a little bit more cautious.
Okay.
And you want to kind of look at it. You got to kind of learn how to read the ingredients, see what is, what is not. Oh my God! Stop! Wait, is that? Let me see that. Somebody got it. And I was like,
I have that, but not keto. Mine is hemp. Is mine hemp?
So you know you've seen those commercials on your feed. Don't play. I Amazoned it because I Amazon everything.
No, this is better than somebody had gotten it that was on the meals.
Oh,
but
I
they
have
got
protein.
it. And it wasn't the keto one. It was a birch blenders, but it wasn't
Mine is protein.
exactly. It was a protein mix and it was full of carbs.
Okay.
But I didn't like it, so I didn't even eat it.
It's rough. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm not gonna lie right now. I have no idea what tiger nut flour is. I don't know what tiger nut flour is. It's almond flour as the number one. Again, almonds are very high in omega-6s.
Right.
So it shouldn't be a super staple in your diet because you will start to feel
If
the
you're craving a
inflammatory-
pancake.
If you're craving, I actually made pancakes the other day with coconut flour and they came out bomb.
Yeah.
But you're a chef.
No, I'm not a chef. You
Bueno,
put that thing in the
tu
magic
cocina.
bowl. Le tira todo. You just need to learn how to like count, like measure. It's not that hard, and they were very fluffy. They're really good. They're not terrible. They're not terrible, but this is again not an every single day.
Let me see this one.
Anything you make on your own is obviously going to be better than anything in a packaging.
No, and it's not bad because like you have to add the egg to that, and it's just basically they measure the dry ingredients for you. Look at that in specific is almond flour based,
right.
so you don't want the almond flour to be a super staple. Oh, yeah.
Because I wanted Nutella.
Let me see. I've been seeing some of that too. Okay, this is for me, if we're saying that this is like a regular Nutella or is it supposed to
No,
be
It does have
it's-
protein.
keto friendly? Fucking liars. Okay, this is the other thing too. They have all the other pretty little stickers: USDA organic, non-GMO verified, vegan, peanut free, no palm oil, keto friendly.
Imagínate, so you already know what that tastes like, right?
Organic vegetable
It is
oil.
not.
Number one ingredient: organic vegetable oils. Those are
Problem.
hot pressed oils. Organic fats, organic sunflower oil, organic coconut oil, which is good, organic cocoa butter, organic erythritol, organic tapioca fiber, organic hazelnuts, organic cocoa powder, organic flax flour, organic stevia leaf.
Bueno, it doesn't taste all great. It does not taste like
It's
like
not like
Nutella,
well,
okay?
It's got like
It's rough. It is rough. But you know what?
7 grams.
If you want a little piece of keto-friendly bread with a little bit of Nutella
to kill off the thing.
to kill off the craving.
13 cents. It's got like 6 net carbs, I think. If I did the calculation right. Hang on. Hazelnut sprout coconut contains 2 grams of sugar. I think it's like 6 net carbs. If you need a spoon, because you need it, 2 tablespoons. It's
you
better
don't
than
need
doing a regular Nutella because it's not full of sugar. But these are not the type of oils that you want to have as a staple. These are kind of like when you do vegetable oils or hard pressed oils. Those are the heart cloggers.
Okay.
Those are the ones that
We
start
have-
to mess with you.
We have one more drink, which is what I'm drinking now. And then we're going to go into your cookies. This is what I'm... ¿Qué tú crees? What do you think?
One of my clients was asking me about this. It doesn't seem like it has much.
Yeah,
It has sucralose.
Okay, what's
When
the
I read
problem
it,
with that?
it didn't seem too bad.
It has sucralose, which is the sugar in it. But you're not having 10 of these a day.
Right?
So
I'm not.
So if you don't, it's an energy drink. If it's giving you a little bit of a boost, again,
Yeah.
the
And
cleaner
it has the
better.
bubbles. It has the bubbles.
The cleaner the better.
So it's not Coke Zero.
This is a better option
Yeah, that's
than,
way better than
Red Bull.
Coke.
than a Coke Zero
And
or
a Red Bull. For
Exactly.
sure better than a Red Bull.
But
Yay!
yeah, that's the thing is that there's things that you can do and like you can be like dirty keto and just have it and
Like
be
for
like okay.
like a bridge. Kind of like
Yeah, and if you can have it, it's just like you can't replace all the water you drink with Celsius.
Right.
So
No, it's 1 Celsius and then the whole day water.
exactly, there needs to be a little bit of balance if you're having something outside because nobody's gonna be so regimented unless you have to medically. Like unless you're a kid that has seizures, your parents need to be very strict with you because if not, you're gonna seizure out.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people have the luxury of being able to kind of have. Oh, I keep hitting it. Being able to keep, to kind of like stay within their macros as far as that they're not gonna go over their carbohydrate or refill their glucose tanks. But at that expense, they're gonna maybe eat something that has too much almond flour and maybe have a little inflammation. But their body's so stabilized, and you're not having any of the other things that it kind of just handles itself, right? It's like somebody says, "Oh, I'm lactose intolerant. I every time I eat cheese, my stomach gets bloated." Well, are you eating cheese with pasta? Well, cut out all of the carbohydrates or cut out all of the inflammatory food, and then after a little bit, try the cheese and see how you feel, right? For a normal person. Oh, I had cheese in it, didn't do anything. It's like, okay, well, the thing is that the whole place was on fire before, and now we've shut down the fire, and now you're just having this little piece here, but you're efficient now, so you're not feeling those after effects that you would feel otherwise if the whole place was on fire.
Got it.
So it's a little bit of the flexibility.
Balance, like a balance. All right, and then...
So don't show them off too much, because those are
I'm
my private
stash. I'm not
stash.
gonna show them off, this is the private stash that, she's gonna let us taste. But recently, that's fairly recently, you started baking the cookies.
Yeah, I baked the cookies, which this is a different recipe. This is a coconut flour, so that
I
can have it.
Are you experimenting over here with us with the coconut?
No, I had them. They're great.
Oh, okay. I'm saying, like, they're great. Have they been distributed to customers?
No, I'm putting it out there. I want to send it out to the customers to see what they say. Everybody that has tried it liked these better.
Okay.
Than the almond flour ones.
Okay, well.
Nice.
She's like, well, I'm going to go for it.
Excuse me. We're going to have a taste test here. Live.
She's gonna be like,
so, talk to us about ingredients.
Those
cut
have
a piece.
grass-fed butter. It's okay. Grass-fed butter, erythritol, coconut flour, eggs. I'm trying to think of what else. Oh my god, what else does it take?
It's really good.
I tasted
these
it
are these are the sweet bits, which are chocolate chips. It's dark chocolate with allulose. So I get those from a distributor that's up in
really good
by Seattle. But it's a good way to kind of
kill the craving.
You can tell that it's like healthy.
It tastes like almost like a regular
I feel
cookie.
like I like them better than the almond flour ones.
Yeah, that's what I've been getting. That's why I'm like, this is perfect. So now I don't have to worry about nut allergies, because most people are not allergic to coconut if they have an almond allergy, a nut allergy. And
I do feel the refreshness of
the erythritol. A little bit too if you just drank something too. Yeah,
it's definitely sweeter. Like this, I won't have a whole cookie.
No, you just need a little piece. But you've never been able to have a whole cookie with a chocolate chip.
No. Someone over there has had a whole bag.
Do you want to taste it?
He definitely
wants
to taste it.
Really good.
He can have a legit whole bag of these cookies, and he's like,
ready?
Can you order me one and you order yourself one? Are you gonna do the lemon ones with this?
I have already started doing the lemon ones with the coconut flour.
Okay.
And I like them better too. Okay. And I had a couple of like a little focus group, and they liked it better too.
I like it.
And
it has a really good aftertaste too.
Right.
Because a lot of like those diet cookies that you eat.
Oh, that they use stevia.
Oh my god, that aftertaste is so gross. I can't deal.
Yeah,
what do you think, Mario?
Well, I haven't tried it yet.
Let me know.
He's not eating a little piece though. He's having a whole cookie.
Yeah, but I need him to be objective on whether it's gonna be.
It's really good. Really, really.
Well, that's it. Oh, the rest are these.
What? Oh, so when I was doing my cookie research, I went to like the Whole Foods and I freaking grabbed a bunch of stuff off the shelf and I started to look. And I went, gosh, I think it was like 3.5 years ago. I went to Baltimore to the Natural Food Products Expo, and I saw what they were serving and stuff like that. And I tasted a bunch of stuff that had almond flour, so I was like on demand with Benadryl.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm allergic.
Because you're allergic.
But I didn't care for this. How it tasted, to be honest with you.
We haven't tried it. I don't know what they taste like.
I'm not a fan. I tasted them and I wanted something that looked like a cookie, that tasted like a cookie, that crunched like a cookie, that melted like a cookie. So that was mine. So I actually adjusted a regular cookie recipe.
That was really good.
And I tweaked it so that it would be a regular cookie.
Have you tried white chocolate instead of just your regular chocolate bits?
Well, white chocolate's not really chocolate.
I mean, though, I don't know.
No, white chocolate is not really white chocolate. It's more like the white chocolate that I would use for like a cake pop that's not keto. It's candy.
Okay.
It's a candy. It's not chocolate. Like chocolate is from like the cacao, you know, stuff.
It's in a fruit.
Because why do they have? I have at home.
Let me see that one that's white chocolate.
I think this one is
They probably use that other thing that's.
But it's from the States. What's that company that sells the chocolate bits?
Sweet Bits?
The
No, you're talking about Lily's.
Lily's has white.
I haven't seen it.
Okay, well
I'll have to look for it.
Yeah.
To see the white chocolate. Let me see. Looking for organic. What do you think, Mario?
These melt in your mouth.
Do you like them more, or you like the other ones more?
Well, I would have to have a batch of the other ones
Qué descaro.
and then a batch of these
Qué descaro.
to understand.
to give his opinion.
I can't find it.
What do you think
Clase
about
de
these?
descaro. There's these things that I bought them
He
when I
wants
was
to be
in-
part of your focus group for
uh-huh.
all the meals.
I definitely do like it.
Okay, so since I'm not doing it correctly because I usually have oatmeal in the morning, I'll have oatmeal, then I'll drink tea, then I'll have a smoothie. So what should I replace oatmeal with?
Oh my god, everything you just said is all like sugar. Like sugar, and not bad sugar, but
In
it's
a
all
healthy way.
carb, yeah.
But the thing is, like, I work out after too, so I'll burn it.
But it's not about burning it. So you'll never hit ketosis if you're just burning the little bit of stores that you have, and then you replenish them, right? The whole thing is to get your body glucose depleted, so your body immediately will go into the ketosis and start to create ketones, and it'll start to burn the fat that you have on your body as energy, as fuel, and then what you consume, it uses it as fuel immediately. It doesn't store it.
Okay.
Right? So, for example, if you were to do oatmeal, right, and you want something tastier, and you're not going to be fasting, do make your own type of oatmeal. You can actually do like a chia pudding with coconut milk and chia seeds and put, you know,
The ham.
cocoa, hemp, all that stuff. Put it in the fridge. You have it the next day, and it's like un pudding. Let me tell you something. I made one that tasted like, I almost had it where it tasted like un arroz con leche.
Oh.
Un arroz con leche, and I was like,
You put cinnamon.
and I put a little bit of cinnamon
so
on it.
yummy.
So you can do that. You can actually just make like a cereal crunch where you can just grab at it like that. You just mix in
The
nuts, the seeds, the coconut, you know, the pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds are great, so on and so forth. So you can have that in the morning if that's like your quick go-to. If you're gonna do smoothie, like the green smoothie that I make in my house is cucumbers. I do put a little piece of apple in it just to kind of balance it out, but it's not technically, it's not keto, but it's not enough to throw me out, right? Because I don't have enough of the other sugars to throw me out of the 20. But I'll do spinach, cucumber, that if you want to squeeze lemon in it, if you want to throw ginger in it.
I use ginger and lemon and olive.
And the other thing that you can do instead of making it, if you don't want to make it like a green smoothie, is you can just do coconut milk, throw cacao powder in it, throw swerve or the sweetener that you want to use, the erythritol or what have you. You can throw blueberries, you can throw anything, put that thing in the blender. It's like a chocolate milkshake.
Okay, and what about peanut butter?
Peanut butter, you would want to go peanuts again, or another one that are high in omega-6s, but you would want to go with a clean peanut butter, so something that doesn't have sugar, which is not going to taste like the peanut butter that maybe Peter Pan and Chip or something that you love.
I put avocado and peanut butter in my smoothie. That tastes so good.
Because you want it to get thicker. See, if you drank milk, I would tell you just put a little bit of heavy creamer, but you don't drink milk.
Yeah.
You don't drink any dairy products. So, yeah, you can put the avocado is bomb.
Avocado and the smoothie, it gives it a whole different
texture.
taste.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it makes it nice and creamy. Look, in the morning you could have avocado.
Okay.
That would be one of the best keto options. You could do avocado, throw olive oil and salt on it.
Okay.
And if you're okay with eggs,
yeah, I could do eggs here and there. I don't mind.
Eggs are ideal for you in the morning. It's because there's
Like
protein.
You don't have to have the yolk. You can just have the outside, right?
No, you want to have the yolk. That's where all the fat is.
Okay.
Yeah, like I'm allergic to egg yolks. Shocker.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
Wow.
so I only have to have the whites, so I don't really eat eggs anymore just porque no me llama la atención. Like,
Yeah,
kind of
like
how it
that's
does
what
with you.
happens to me. It's like I don't really care for it anymore. I guess since I've gone so long without it, it's like I'll have it if it's there, but it's not like I need it.
The other thing you can do is you can make yourself like a little crustless quiche, right? You make it at the beginning of the week, like an omelet that you can bake it. You put eggs, you put spinach, you put whatever vegetales you want in it, and you cut into a couple pieces and you just grab and go, kind of like those little egg bites that Starbucks does or any of these places do. And then that's a quick little breakfast for you to do. I know you don't care for eggs that much, but you can season it. Like you can change it.
I can change.
You can change it. And it's just a kind of different vehicle. The other thing too that a lot of people don't, they're like, oh, I can't eat that much fat. How am I gonna eat that much fat? Like your vegetables they're great in fiber and stuff like that. In your case, it's all you're gonna be eating, but they're great vehicles for fat.
Yes.
Avocado oil,
Avocado
drizzle,
oil, butter, and not in your case, grass-fed butter.
everything bagel.
They're great vehicles for you to be able to consume more fat.
Yeah.
You
Una
know,
cremita, a cilantro.
un blue cheese dressing, you know, whatever you need. Like, these are things. Obviously, it's a little bit different for like a vegan lifestyle, but it's doable.
Yeah.
It's totally doable.
Okay.
Awesome sauce.
Okay, pause, babe. How are we on time?
Or way over time for sure.
No, I just want to know because
An hour and 30 minutes.
Holy hell! holy hell.
Every time we do a podcast, we extend our talking. Like well, the first night, it was like 7 minutes. No, we stopped at 7 minutes, and then we're like, okay, let's keep talking. Then we stopped at 30. But that 7 minutes that first day felt like an hour.
It
Well,
did.
Like the flow of the conversation is getting better. Like I'll tell you this. Like this is gonna be a good one. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you, babe. Thank you, babe.
Yay.
I think we're gonna get a lot of clips out of this one.
Oh, trust me.
Probably a lot of faces.
All the bloopers.
I
They'll be on there.
Don't take a picture of the seat after, porque yo
No, the
tengo
picture
esta
that
cosa
I'm gonna-
encharcada right now. I'm like stuck. I'm gonna have to walk out here with this
Listen,
seat.
the picture that's going in the front of this podcast
Do
is
you
going
feel
to be
the
the one
air?
you sent
Do
me.
you feel it? The fan?
You better
Con
not.
la lengua.
You better not, you
Así.
hoe.
I don't put that
You
one.
dirty hoe.
I don't put that one.
Just remember, minute 20 with 39 seconds.
What did I say?
Oh, that's the one you guys talk about all the nuts.
That was on you, girl.
I always have to say something out the world.
Not to your mouth, and I'm here like I feel very uncomfortable. There's this big black thing right by my face, like, right by my mouth.
Eres una sucia.
It's too short.
But it's thick, boo. It's thick.
It's got girth. It's got girth. Ay, no. Estamos de madre.
Oh my god.
Estamos de pipí.
Oh my god. Alright, well.
Girl talk be like.
Oh my god.
Una
No,
cantidad de
I can't take you out anywhere.
It's like
Well, you look
bullshit
fabulous today.
Yes.
Estás modelo.
First
De
of all,
aquí
I
para
wanna-
club.
Ponte linda. It's 4K. I don't know how to put on makeup like that. I was freaking
That's
out.
what she did to me. I was like,
I was
girl,
freaking out.
I don't even wear
Listen,
makeup.
Listen, people are gonna be zooming in and want to see 4K. Okay.
Please
Girl,
don't. I had a
there's-
really hard time covering all my manchas.
Que mancha.
Que
Look at those
mancha.
eyes. Everybody's gonna be focused on
Mancha.
esos ojos.
Look at
bellos. Esos
You
ojos
can't even
bellos.
see any manchas. You're
There's
good.
no
I
manchas.
have to just do that. The buenas,
She's like, I'm gonna start with buenas. That was perfect, girl. That was perfect.
That's gonna be in the clip. Yeah.
I think she's Dominican. Have you seen her?
Yeah, I've seen
The
her.
one
I've
that
seen her.
she's
Yeah,
Dominican.
yeah.
She gives you life.
She does give you life.
I don't know who the heck you're talking
I
about.
will send it to you.
Okay, please do.
It's a whole girl. Everyone has been like reenacting it, like on the reels
Doing the dubbing of her
Mhm.
voice.
of her voice.
No,
It's
you know
so
who I'm
good.
digging? The lady that's pregnant with twins, and she's doing like the fat heads, she has like a huge head, and they're like, oh, you're gonna babysit your cousin or something, and she's like, I'm gonna whoop it.
Oh, that she's in like army uniform?
She's like in a boy uniform, but she has a big head.
I
She's like,
haven't
"Whoop
seen
him." He's
it.
like, oh, he's gonna be sleeping. I'm whooping him. And I'm like, what's happening here?
They like all the
She's
funniest stuff. Right, the
pregnant.
memes and all that stuff are the best.
Oh my God.
I call them memes. Everybody makes fun of me because I call them. I'm like, I want to call it meme, and that's what I'm gonna call it. It's not a meme. It's a meme.
It's a meme.
It's a meme. And
Those
meme.
memes are legit. But thank you so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed and you learned a little bit. I hope you feel inspired by Jacky's story. Any words of encouragement to people that want to start or are thinking of starting a business? Obviously, we've talked about how hard it is and how you will have to put some man hours in, but at the end of the day, it's self-satisfying because of what you can give out to the world as far as your passion or what makes you self-satisfied.
I'd say if you're worried about losing sleep or you're gonna make an excuse every step of the way, then it's definitely not something for you. I don't think it necessarily has to be a business. Like if you just like painting, then go fucking paint. You don't have to make money off of it. Eventually, that will come out of your spirit to do something where you can make money out of it.
It's so funny.
But just
you say
do
that.
it.
It's so funny you say
Yeah,
that. We
we
were
were
just talking
just
about our
talking
next
about-
topic. Our next topic is
Right.
going to be how to turn a passion into
A business.
a business.
A business, and it's okay. Like, not everybody's meant to own their own business because it's a lot of work, and some people don't want to make the sacrifices. What people need to understand is that for everything that you want, there will be a sacrifice involved. If you want to have kids, you need to understand there's going to be a sacrifice of that you're not going to be the most important anymore, and then you're not going to be able to go out every time you want to go out. If you want to run a business, you need to understand that you're going to have to sacrifice going out with your friends while they're eating shit, while you're working. It's a give and pull. There's sacrifices everywhere, so you need to be willing to do those sacrifices. But if you want to do it, my best advice is just fucking do it. Learn from people that know more than you, that have already hit the wall, so that you don't have to hit them. Go to some conferences. Like, I like Tony Robbins. I went to his conferences. It's not for everybody, but I enjoyed it. Mm-hmm. It's not that it's like my all-in, but you know what? You learn from there. Surround yourself with people that are on your side, that are on your team, that want to see you do better. If they're dragging you down, cut. I think that that's a really big thing that happens with people, that they don't surround themselves with people that want to make them better. Like, you need to have people of all levels of life. You need to have poor friends. You need to have really wealthy friends. You need to have fun friends. You need to have smart friends. You need to have boring friends. You need to have people at every level of life. And, you help the ones that you can help up, and you help to climb up to the ones that you want to get up to. And you just learn a lot of different things. And so if you want to just do something, just do it. Don't think so much. Just fucking do it. If you fail, oh well, do it again. Now you're not starting from nothing. You're starting from where you messed up, and you know better now. So, that's basically my advice. I mean, I don't know how to say it better than just be cojonua.
That's a good way to end it. Yeah. Follow, subscribe, and click on those turn on those notifications. Ding, 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 ding. And looking forward to seeing you guys again. And I hope you enjoyed today's topic, and I hope you learned. And thank you so much. We want to thank our sponsors, the Founders Law and Silver Acre Academy, for hosting us today. We'll see you next time.
See you on the next one.
FattyAffairmeals.com.
¿Cómo? ¿Qué tú dijiste?
FattyAffairmeals.com.
Oh, no. That's coming up. It's going to come in a little thing.